So you're here because you want to do transactions on Facebook, or you want to buy, or you want to sell. Facebook Marketplace has just been trending. Quite a number of people are going to do business on Facebook Marketplace. So what that simply means is that there's also going to be a huge amount of scam happening on there. So this video is actually designed to help you really take certain precaution as you go on there, either to purchase an item or to sell on both sides of the fence. I have actually used Facebook Marketplace as a seller and also as a buyer. As a seller, you can be scammed of your items that you are selling, and as a buyer at the same time, you can also be scammed off of your money as a buyer. So these are the things that you're going to look out for. So let's get started. One of the things you want to look out for with Facebook Marketplace is how authentic is the person you're trying to purchase from. I'm just showing you my screen right here. The first thing you want to do here is you want to look at the person's profile. Now I have a case here that I'm going to use. If you look at my screen here, this is a transaction that I'm currently working on. I just went on Facebook Marketplace. You know how when you go to search for an item, once you search for a particular item, the algorithm of Facebook just automatically thinks that, okay, or since you look at a particular item, chances are that you truly want to buy that item. So they open you to more opportunities to see that particular item. That's how the Facebook algorithm works. So I'm scrolling through my feed and I see a beautiful camera called 5D Mark IV. 5D Mark IV goes for X amount of money if you're purchasing brand new one on Amazon. But here I am on Facebook, used but relatively new, and is selling for 500. I said to myself, this camera is worth a little less than 2K. Like the popular saying, if it's too good to be true, chances are it is. In fact, 99.9% of the time it is. So I message the seller and I say, look at our conversation here. So I sent a message to the seller asking them, hey, is it still available? Will you be willing to let it go for 400? Thanks. And they responded with the amount of 430. Yes. So I picked it up from there. Let me not dwell on it too much. Now, as you can see, these are our back and forth because they responded eventually. Going back to where I started from, you want to actually verify that this person is legit. So I clicked on their profile. I actually realized that they've only been on Facebook for less than a couple of months. The particular profile that they're using to push this item on Facebook Marketplace, the account was set up in 2021. So that was a red flag number one for me. And then so they eventually responded. I was willing to still go ahead and make the purchase. They responded with this, because I had sent a message. Kindly send a short video of the camera working and how do I make payment? I am ready to pay now. Thanks. They responded, I said, okay, what I am, e-commerce business. That doesn't make sense. Shipping one day overnight, USPS payment securely, Apple Pay. So basically, I think they are trying to say that they are e-commerce business, Hey, anybody can claim anything on the other side of the fence. I don't know them, So one thing you need to know is that Facebook has provided a secure platform for everybody to do business. If I can't pay on Facebook, so it means that the protection is only one-sided. The protection for my transaction or for that particular transaction is only one-sided, because I am not covered. The person can take the money and they are gone. They vanish into thin air. There's nothing I can do about it. So basically, I would ask that you watch out for stuff like this. Now, as we go down, payment securely, Apple Pay with dispute option. I still will not do that. So I wanted to further lead them on. I said, Apple Pay is fine. Can I at least see a video of what I am paying for? Which is fair. I just wanted to see that the item is working, because on the listing, if I come to Facebook Marketplace here, let me come here real quick. If I come to Facebook Marketplace here, the item is actually in one place, but they tell me, let me come. I need to be able to help someone out there before they fall prey to these big time scammers on Facebook. And part of the reason why I know about these things is because I have sold on Facebook, and whenever I sell, I know things that I am looking for. When people tell me make pictures, make video of this thing, because I really want to sell the item, I go the extra mile and I make a video or take an extra picture just to show that the person that, hey, I'm legit, I'm real. Okay, as you can see, this is the same item that someone has listed for 3,200. So for me to have seen it at this amount, I saw another person list it for at about the same amount, which I think that the same item for $500. Now this camera is a lot more than this amount. I know it's used, but it's still too cheap to get this camera for this amount. If it's a working camera, this amount is pretty low for this camera. It's too good to be true. That's what I'm saying. So these are the red flags you want to look out for when you are purchasing an item on Facebook. That is one side. The other side is, if at all they are providing you an option to pay from Facebook or using Facebook to fund the item, if they are not taking you out of the platform, now you still need to be careful, because they can actually get tracking number from somewhere. You know, they can even go as far as buying the tracking number and make it look really, really legit and package an empty box or put something else in the box. Of course, it's going to read on Facebook that the item has been shipped, and once it gets delivered, Facebook is going to start the process of releasing the money to the buyer. Now, if you're not the type that is really quick, Facebook is probably going to have released the money to the seller. So what you need to do is to be quick in that instance, because it's actually not completely free of scam if someone wants to scam you off Facebook, unless of course you alert Facebook really quick that, hey, this person sent me an empty package. Then you can actually now win the case and have your money refunded to you. Now, talking about the other side of the fence, which is being a seller. Now I've talked about the side of being a buyer, how you can protect yourself. Being a seller, in December, I sold a bunch of Christmas trees, you know, because there was a delay with the shipping with USPS. I guess they were very busy at that time. What had happened was that, you know, because of the delays in shipping, buyers on the other end were taking advantage of that to scam sellers. This happened to me. I will send the item and have tracking. Because of, you know, what was happening with USPS, there was no tracking, but I have the number. I will even send the tracking. Now here's what happens. They wait a couple of days, they still can't find their stuff. So Facebook, of course, will always have the back of the buyer and then refund them, even when eventually the item is delivered. So the seller is actually pretty much screwed at this point in time, you know, on his item. It happened to me. There's a case that I wasn't able to resolve because Facebook didn't do anything about it. I sent this item and it took so much time for USPS to be able to deliver it because of the time. It was during December, and with end of year winding down and rush hour for sales and delivery and all that. It was a crazy time for USPS. I think there was a delay, but eventually it was delivered. But this delivery was done after Facebook refunded the buyer because of the time it took. At the end of the day, I was at the losing end. But when I eventually even sent a message to the buyer, I was like, hey, can you return the item, and so on and so forth. They cut me off and stopped responding to me, and that whole thing went down the drain. I lost my money, I lost my item and all that. So these are the things you need to watch out for, whether as a buyer or as a seller. There's scam on both sides. So how do you begin to solve these things? People have to take risk. We have to take risks. This is the environment in which we exist. So what we need to do is to take certain precautions. Precaution number one, ensure that the person is legit. Don't do transaction with someone who has fresh account like 2021. This is 2021. Just the account was just opened a couple of months ago. So for the one who is trying to scam me as a seller, as you can see, I eventually responded to them.
I may not be able to proceed with payment due to your terms and conditions, right? They are quite rigid and not trustworthy. However, if you do reconsider, please send me a message and I'll make the payment. Thanks for your time.
I just wanted to be polite because I just don't want to be the reason why anyone wants to jump in the lake. But hey, but I still want to be kind to the person, you know, even though what they are doing is completely wrong. As you can see on top of here, they said this person left the group. I know that they are probably feeling like, okay, this person know what they are doing. I won't be able to milk them or get any kind of money out of them, so they probably just left it unfinished. Now this person is probably going to have multiple accounts to set up this sort of listings all over Facebook Marketplace, because this person is different and is the same price, 500 for this camera, the same price with this particular one that I just saw right now. As you can see, $500, Canon EOS 5D Mark IV, the same thing but a different account. So I just decided to send a message to this, you see, out of stock in about few minutes. So these are sort of behaviors that you should actually look out for on Facebook Marketplace, because they can scam you out of money real quick. Insist that you make the payment through Facebook Marketplace. That way the buyer protection thing covers you as a buyer. Then as a seller, make sure you upload your tracking number real quick. Now I'm not even going to talk about, you know, delivering in person within your neighborhood. I'm not going to talk about that because I will not do it. So if I won't do it, I will not advise anybody to do it, because a lot of people have had terrible experiences with in-person delivery or in-person receipt of things that they paid for on Facebook. So be very careful out there. It is very, very important that you take caution. This is what I stopped by here to share with you. Please let me know in the comments if you want more videos like this. I'm willing to actually do more videos like this, because I know that a lot of people are having challenges, this sort of challenges, you know, using some of these platforms, you know, and this is what I have experienced, and I would like to share more of these kinds of experience. This is Sam. Until another video, subscribe, like if you do enjoy this particular video, and hey, let's see some other time in another video. This is Sam and I'm signing out. Peace.